Do you think that relationships require work, and how much work is necessary or required or even healthy for a relationship? So today I'm going to be talking about this subject under the realm of personality typology. I have shared before, so we're talking about Carl Jung's psychological types. There are 16 archetypes. That same philosophy is what inspired Myers-Briggs, and also what inspired Socionics, which is a Russian personality system based on Jung. So we're talking about the 16 archetypes here. I have already said before on this channel that I don't believe that there is such a thing as a perfect match, because really all there is how are these types going to work together. So you can look at the how, but there is no this is good, this is bad. But for example, if I was to be with somebody who uses the same cognitive functions as me. So for example, I'm an ENFJ and I'm dating an INFJ, which I am in real life. That is going to be a smoother relationship because we already understand where the person is coming from, and our basic human assumptions, which are this is how people work, is going to be actually reflected onto that person, at least to some extent, which I'm operating off of the assumption that we are always projecting what we think is normal human processing and human functioning onto types that are not your own type. And so that's why an ENFJ is going to understand each other well, because I'm assuming things about them based on how I work, and I'm more likely to be accurate. Now, when we're really getting into our personalities and wanting to understand this stuff, it's not a great habit to just keep assuming those things. It's really not. Even though you are more likely to be correct when you're talking about someone who uses the same functions, not always. Even with a minor change, such as INFJ, ENFJ, we might get it wrong. We might get it wrong because they still work differently. And we're most definitely going to get it wrong if I'm assuming things about like an ENFP who uses opposite cognitive functions. This is a very dangerous sort of relationship for assumptions. If we're talking about ENFJ, ENFP, or INTP, INTJ, those type pairings where the P and J is just the only thing that's different, that is a very dangerous relationship for assumptions, because on the surface they look very similar, but the reality is they don't work. They don't have the same functioning. So the thing when it comes to compatibility and personality is that there are smoother relations and there are more challenging relations. But the points of challenges is what encourages growth. And so that's not a bad thing, because what you will find in relationships is that even smooth relationships require work. And so if you are looking for the perfect personality type to be with because you are wanting to rely on your assumptions and not put in any work and just assume that you're good, they're going to understand you, you're wrong. Even the most beneficial relations, which even like with my INFJ girlfriend and my ENFJ, one of my ENFJ best friends, we still have to communicate. We still have to share where we're coming from. And that is true in every relationship. But what I've found is that so many people, they don't want to put in the work. And so they look for people who are compatible. But you aren't off the hook just because you're compatible with someone. All relationships require work. And so what is that work? Well, really, communication, humans just are so bad at it. Like, it really kind of freaks me out when I think about it. How often we just rely on assumptions and expect people to read our minds. And it's really rude. It's a lot of effort to put on the other person who is more than likely going to get you wrong. The reason why we do this is because we aren't self-aware. And so we actually don't know what we're doing or what we're feeling or what we're thinking. And in order to communicate it, you have to have been self-aware enough yourself to process it yourself to even know what to say. And so that's hard. Because a lot of us are chasing relationships because we don't want to fully see and know ourselves. So yeah, we don't want to see and know ourselves. That's hard. And so we distract ourselves by looking at relationships to help us. And relationships can be an amazing mirror, whether that is the same functions or different functions that are challenging us. You can see yourself and know yourself through other people. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying here is that the first step really is seeing and knowing yourself. That's why there's all those cheesy quotes that are like, you can't love someone unless you love yourself first. Well, I think that often one of the best keys to truly loving and seeing and knowing ourselves is seeing our reflection in other people. And so I don't think that anybody should I'm not going to date or have any friends until I figured myself out, because it's all a journey. It's not like one destination that we're looking for, because these relationships can catapult us into integrating into being our best self. But the thing is, we need to be able to know who we are, and so that we can communicate that, or else you're expecting the other person to pretty much read your mind. Which, if they aren't a person that already knows themselves, they're going to be wrong either way. But if they're not a person that already knows themselves, they're really going to be wrong. So whenever you're wondering if your relationship is worth doing the work for, you have to just weigh the effort that you're putting in versus the value that you are getting out of it. And you have to be really honest about that value and not lie to yourself and think that you can get that value elsewhere. And don't lie to yourself and think that you'll be able to find a relationship that doesn't require work. Yes, I also get the saying of that the right one should be easy, and it will be easy because the value that you get is going to be so great, and that the work, you're going to feel motivated to do it because you love them. But that doesn't mean that there's no work. So hopefully that concept made sense. And if you'd like to be mentored by me, or if you're not sure your personality and you want to be typed by me and Crystal, or if you're just interested in joining my Facebook group, all of those links are below. So thank you for watching and have a wonderful rest of your day.